Hello, welcome to PinVoice. Today I'd like to talk about the news regarding Taiwan's exclusion from WHA, which is World Health Assembly. We know that Taiwan really wants to be an observer for WHO, World Health Organization. Especially this time, there's a meeting virtually, and every country in the whole wide world, as long as they are the members or they will be invited to the World Health Assembly, then they will focus on the topic of COVID-19. And many countries would like to share their experiences. At the same time, they like to learn experiences from other countries as well. And this time, Taiwan thinks they did a very good job. And they believe that they should receive the invitation from WHO to attend the annual World Health Assembly. But unfortunately, in the end, Taiwan did not get the invitation. So Taiwanese government deeply regrets this result. And according to the news, Taiwan government is very dissatisfied that Taiwan was not invited to attend the annual meeting. Both Minister of Health and Welfare and Minister of Foreign Affairs, they said that Taiwanese government has put in their efforts until the last moment, but Taiwan was still not invited, and they like to express their regret and dissatisfaction for the situation, and they like to protest against it. The main reason that Taiwan would like to attend this annual meeting, because they know that all the countries, all the members would like to talk about COVID-19, and Taiwan believe that their performance in fighting the coronavirus is worth sharing with other countries. I don't want to make any comment about political intention because lots of stories about why Taiwan did not receive the invitation. But I just want to talk about Taiwan's performance in fighting the coronavirus. Is it really worth sharing? I talk about Taiwan's efforts many times. So when you judge from the numbers, of course, Taiwan did a very good job. The population in Taiwan is 23 million, and so far there are only 440 cases of COVID-19 and 7 deaths. So if we look at the numbers, and you would agree that Taiwan did a very good job. And Taiwan is a success, and people would believe that Taiwan tried their best to protect its people. But the fact is not the number showed. We know that number can talk. If you want to make an analysis or if you want to know something, and people always like to cite statistics. Of course, numbers can talk. But in the meantime, numbers can be manipulated, designed, or controlled. Taiwan is proud of its numbers, 440 cases, 7 deaths, with 23 million population. But you know what? They had done a lot of things to make such a beautiful number. First of all, they sacrificed the freedom of Taiwanese people stranded in Wuhan, Hubei. I talked about this topic for many times. I think it's really hard to imagine that a country would abandon its own citizens. It's just because they want to make the number beautiful. Taiwanese government feared that the return of those people stranded in Hubei could could increase the confirmed cases in Taiwan, so they hesitated to bring them back. But it turned out that there are only less than 5 cases for those people who were tested positive for COVID-19. Because when we look at the whole world, we saw that many countries tried their best to bring their own citizens home because they know that this is pandemic, this is outbreak. Everybody would like to go home to be with their families. However, Taiwan did not do it. Taiwan sent out the charter plane the first time, and they found out there one person tested positive, and then there's no second until 30 days later. And then no charter planes at all. It's just like those people have to travel to Shanghai and took the quasi charter plane back to Taiwan. So it's really hard to believe that. Seems to me Taiwanese government had treated its own countrymen traveling to Hubei as plague. It's really hard to believe. I still don't believe that a government would treat its own citizen this way. And the second thing, for those people back to Taiwan, those people may be from Hubei and from Europe or from US. And Taiwanese government had different measures toward people from these places. For instance, people from Hubei, when they send out the charter plane, or after 30 days another charter plane, and they require those people from Hubei to wear personal protective equipment on board before they take off the plane. And those people must have 14-day quarantine. And let's look at those other people from Europe and US. And we know that Europe and US, they do have many cases of COVID-19. So we can say that they're kind of epicenter for this virus as well. But Taiwanese government treat them so well because they only check if you have a fever or if you have a coughing symptoms, something like that. If you don't show any symptoms of COVID-19, then you're safe. Then you can get into Taiwan and you don't have to have 14-day quarantine. So just because of the loosened measure toward people from Europe and US, Taiwan, all of a sudden, the confirmed cases increased dramatically. And the third part is about the human rights. Taiwanese government ignored the basic human right for middle school students. The education system is different from countries to country. So for Taiwan, those middle school students, if they want to move to high schools, and they must take part in the high school entrance examination. That's important for all the ninth grade students in Taiwan, because ninth grade, they still consider middle school students. So they had this exam, and at that time, Taiwan bragged about their success on the COVID containment because they said that there are 0 community COVID infection case for 30 consecutive days. So they believe that Taiwan is very clean and kind of like a COVID-19 virus free, kind of. So basically, there's no virus in the community at all. Under that kind of circumstance, why didn't the Taiwanese government ease the restrictions, especially for those kids? They are just middle school kids. They are just middle school students. But they require all the students to wear masks from the time they enter into the venues, they took the exams, they must wear the masks. And we know the temperature in Taiwan, the weather in Taiwan is very humid and the temperature is really high. It's a 30 Celsius degree and 86 Fahrenheit degrees. So you can see that Taiwan is a very humid situation for all those kids, and they have to stay in the classroom to finish their test for 8 hours. They must wear the masks. When Taiwan believe that the whole environment is clean and there's no community infection case whatsoever for 30 consecutive days, but Taiwanese government still decided to have those students wear masks. I can't believe any nation in the world would learn lessons from Taiwan. Did Taiwan government want any nation in the world to do the things they did to their own citizens? Did Taiwan really want any other countries in the world to learn how to sacrifice the freedom of its own people, how to implement biased measures towards people from different regions, or they want other countries to follow their ignorance of the basic human rights for students? I really don't understand what kind of experiences, positive experiences, that Taiwan government can share with any nation in the world.
谢谢收听，别忘了订阅关注哦，我们下回见。